Wet niche lighting, covered in Article 680 of the National Electrical Code, requires the use of only approved lighting fixtures specifically designed for wet niche applications. The fixture must be listed as pool and spa rated, indicating its suitability for submersible use. The transformer supplying power to the wet niche light must be ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, protected to prevent electrical shock hazards. Now, addressing the waterfall lighting, which is outside the 10-foot perimeter from the inside wall of the pool, there are two primary options: firstly, high voltage lighting, and secondly, medium voltage lighting. Option 1 involves installing approved high voltage lighting fixtures operating at 120 volts or 240 volts outside of the 10-foot perimeter surrounding the pool. The chosen fixtures must be specifically designed for outdoor wet locations to withstand moisture and environmental factors. It's crucial to protect the wiring from moisture by using appropriate conduit and sealing methods. For added safety, install a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, protected circuit to supply power to the high voltage lighting. Option 2 involves installing approved medium voltage lighting fixtures, which operate at a voltage level less than 150 volts but more than 20 volts. Again, select fixtures listed for use in wet locations to ensure their suitability for the intended environment. Protect the wiring from moisture by using appropriate conduit and sealing methods. The transformer used to supply power to the medium voltage lighting must be specifically designed for use in wet locations and must also be ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, protected. For both lighting options, there are additional considerations to keep in mind. Use waterproof connectors and seals for all wiring connections to prevent water intrusion and corrosion. Ensure that the wiring is properly routed to prevent damage from splashing water or ultraviolet (UV) exposure. Regular maintenance and inspection of the lighting system is highly recommended to ensure safety, proper functioning, and longevity. It is important to consult with a qualified electrician or pool professional to ensure proper installation and full compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Local built-in codes may have additional requirements or exceptions, so it is crucial to check with local authorities to ensure adherence to all relevant regulations. To summarize, when choosing and installing lighting for a swimming pool and its surrounding features like waterfalls, safety and code compliance are paramount. For wet niche lighting within the pool, use listed pool and spa rated fixtures with ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, protected transformers. For waterfall lighting outside the 10-foot perimeter, consider both high voltage and medium voltage options, ensuring that all fixtures and wiring are suitable for wet locations. Pay close attention to waterproof connections, proper wiring routing, and regular maintenance. Always consult with qualified professionals and local authorities to guarantee a safe and code-compliant installation. Let's delve deeper into the technical aspects of each lighting option to provide a more comprehensive understanding. Firstly, wet niche lighting. Wet niche lighting is specifically designed to be submerged in the pool water, providing illumination from within the pool itself. These fixtures are typically low voltage, often operating at 12 volts alternating current to minimize the risk of electrical shock. The fixture is housed within a niche or recess in the pool wall with a watertight seal to prevent water from entering the electrical components. The low voltage power is supplied by a transformer located outside of the pool area, which steps down the standard 120 volts alternating current or 240 volts alternating current voltage to the required 12 volts alternating current. As previously mentioned, this transformer must be ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, protected to provide an additional layer of safety. The ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, constantly monitors the current flowing in the circuit and immediately trips the circuit if it detects any leakage current to ground, which could indicate a potential shock hazard. The National Electrical Code, NEC, Article 680 provides detailed requirements for the installation of wet niche lighting, covering aspects such as bonding, grounding, and wiring methods. Compliance with these requirements is essential to ensure the safety of pool users. Secondly, high voltage lighting for waterfall applications. When using high voltage lighting for illuminating a waterfall outside of the 10-foot perimeter of the pool, several factors must be considered. High voltage in this context typically refers to 120 volts alternating current or 240 volts alternating current, which are standard voltages in residential and commercial electrical systems. The lighting fixtures used must be specifically designed for outdoor wet locations, meaning that they are constructed with materials and seals that can withstand exposure to moisture, rain, and humidity. These fixtures are typically rated for wet locations and bear markings indicating their suitability for such environments. The wiring used to supply power to the high-voltage lighting must also be suitable for outdoor use and protected from physical damage. This is typically achieved by using conduit, which is a rigid or flexible tubing that encases the wiring and provides mechanical protection. The conduit must be properly sealed to prevent water from entering and corroding the wiring. As with wet niche lighting, the circuit supplying power to the high-voltage lighting must be ground fault circuit interrupter (GFCI) protected. This provides an additional layer of safety by detecting and interrupting any leakage current to ground. It is important to note that working with high-voltage electricity can be dangerous, and it is essential to follow all safety precautions and consult with a qualified electrician. Thirdly, medium voltage lighting for waterfall applications. Medium voltage lighting offers a compromise between the low voltage of wet niche lighting and the high voltage of standard electrical systems. In the context of pull and spot lighting, medium voltage typically refers to voltages less than 150 volts but more than 20 volts. This voltage range allows for brighter and more powerful lighting options compared to low voltage systems while still providing a reasonable level of safety. As with high voltage lighting, the fixtures used for medium voltage lighting must be specifically designed for outdoor wet locations. They must be constructed with materials and seals that can withstand exposure to moisture, rain, and humidity. The wiring used to supply power to the medium voltage lighting must also be suitable for outdoor use and protected from physical damage. This is typically achieved by using conduit, as with high voltage systems. A transformer is required to step down the standard 120 volts alternating current or 240 volts alternating current voltage to the desired medium voltage level. This transformer must be specifically designed for use in wet locations and must be ground fault circuit interrupter (GFCI) protected. The ground fault circuit interrupter (GFCI) protection is crucial for preventing electrical shock hazards. The National Electrical Code, NEC Article 680 provides guidance on the installation of medium voltage lighting in pool and spot areas, although the requirements may not be as stringent as those for wet niche lighting. Nonetheless, it is essential to follow all applicable codes and regulations to ensure safety and code compliance. Now, let's examine some specific considerations for wiring and connections. Firstly, waterproof connectors and seals. Regardless of whether you choose high voltage or medium voltage lighting for your waterfall, the use of waterproof connectors and seals is absolutely essential. These connectors and seals are designed to prevent water from entering the electrical connections, which can cause corrosion, short circuits, and electrical shock hazards. Waterproof connectors typically have a rubber or silicone gasket that creates a watertight seal when the connector is tightened. They are also often made of corrosion-resistant materials such as stainless steel or brass. Waterproof seals are used to seal the openings where wires enter the lighting fixtures or junction boxes. These seals can be made of rubber, silicone, or other flexible materials that conform to the shape of the wire and create a watertight barrier. It is important to choose connectors and seals that are specifically designed for use in wet locations and that are compatible with the type of wiring being used. Secondly, proper wiring routing. The way that the wiring is routed is also critical to prevent damage from splashing water or ultraviolet (UV) exposure. Wiring should be routed in a way that minimizes its exposure to direct sunlight and splashing water. This can be achieved by running the wiring through conduit, burying it underground, or routing it behind walls or other structures. When wiring must be exposed, it should be supported by clamps or straps to prevent it from sagging or rubbing against other objects. Wiring should also be kept away from sharp edges or abrasive surfaces that could damage the insulation. Ultraviolet (UV) radiation from the sun can degrade the insulation of wiring over time, making it brittle and prone to cracking. To protect wiring from ultraviolet (UV) exposure, it can be wrapped with ultraviolet (UV) resistant tape or coated with an ultraviolet (UV) resistant sealant. Thirdly, regular maintenance and inspection. Regular maintenance and inspection of the lighting system are essential to ensure safety and longevity. This includes visually inspecting the fixtures, wiring, and connections for any signs of damage or corrosion. Any damaged or corroded component should be replaced immediately. The ground fault circuit interrupter (GFCI) devices should be tested regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly. This can be done by pressing the test button on the ground fault circuit interrupter (GFCI) and verifying that the circuit trips. The lighting fixture should be cleaned regularly to remove any dirt, debris, or algae that may have accumulated. This will help to maintain the brightness and clarity of the light. It is also important to check the water level in the pool regularly to ensure that the wet niche lighting fixtures are properly submerged. If the water level is too low, the fixtures may overheat and be damaged. The importance of consulting with qualified professionals and local authorities cannot be overstated. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is essential to have the knowledge and skills necessary to perform the work safely. A qualified electrician will be able to assess the specific requirements of your project and recommend the best lighting solutions for your needs. They will also be able to ensure that the installation is performed in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Local building codes may have additional requirements or exceptions that are not covered in the National Electrical Code (NEC). It is important to check with local authorities to ensure that your project complies with all applicable regulations. In addition to electrical codes, there may also be other regulations that apply to pool and spa lighting, such as zoning regulations or environmental regulations. It is important to be aware of these regulations and to comply with them. Proper pool and spa lighting is essential for both safety and aesthetics. By following the guidelines outlined in this discussion and consulting with qualified professionals, you can create a safe and beautiful pool and spa environment for yourself and your family. To further elaborate on the National Electrical Code (NEC) and its relevance to pool lighting, it is crucial to understand that the NEC is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines for electrical installations in the United States. It is updated every 3 years to reflect the latest advancements in technology and safety practices. Article 680 of the NEC specifically addresses the electrical requirements for swimming pools, spas, hot tubs, and other similar installations. This article covers a wide range of topics, including bonding, grounding, wiring methods, and equipment requirements. Bonding is the process of connecting all metal parts of the pool and its surrounding structures together to create an electrically continuous system. This helps to minimize the risk of electrical shock by ensuring that all metal parts are at the same electrical potential. Grounding is the process of connecting the electrical system to the earth, which provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source. This helps to protect against electrical shock and equipment damage. Wiring methods refer to the types of wiring and conduit that are permitted to be used in pool and spa areas. The NEC specifies that only certain types of wiring and conduit are suitable for use in wet locations. Equipment requirements refer to the types of electrical equipment that are permitted to be used in pool and spa areas. The NEC specifies that all electrical equipment used in these areas must be listed and labeled for its intended use. Listing and labeling are certifications provided by independent testing laboratories that verify that the equipment meets certain safety standards. The National Electrical Code (NEC) is not a law itself, but it is often adopted by state and local governments as part of their building codes. This means that compliance with the NEC is often required by law. It is important to consult with local authorities to determine which version of the NEC is in effect in your area and to ensure that your pool and spot lighting installation complies with all applicable requirements. In addition to the NEC, there may also be other standards and guidelines that apply to pool and spa lighting. For example, The Illuminating Engineering Society (WISE) publishes recommended practices for pool lighting that provide guidance on the amount and distribution of light needed to create a safe and comfortable environment. These recommended practices are not mandatory, but they can be helpful in designing a pool lighting system that meets your specific needs. The proper selection and installation of pool and spa lighting can be a complex process, and it is important to seek professional guidance to ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. A qualified electrician will be able to assess your needs, recommend the best lighting solutions for your situation, and ensure that the installation complies with all applicable codes and regulations. By taking the time to plan and execute your pool and spa lighting project carefully, you can create a beautiful and functional outdoor space that you can enjoy for years to come. Let's now address some common questions and concerns regarding pool lighting. Firstly, what is the difference between a wet niche light and a dry niche light? A wet niche light is designed to be submerged in the pool water, while a dry niche light is installed behind the pool wall in a dry compartment. Wet niche lights are typically used for general pool illumination, while dry niche lights are often used for accent lighting or to illuminate specific features of the pool. Secondly, what are the advantages and disadvantages of low voltage versus high voltage lighting? Low voltage lighting is generally safer than high voltage lighting because it reduces the risk of electrical shock. However, low voltage lighting may not be as bright or powerful as high voltage lighting. High voltage lighting is typically less expensive to install than low voltage lighting, but it requires more stringent safety precautions. Thirdly, how do I choose the right size and type of lighting fixture for my pool? The size and type of lighting fixture that you choose will depend on the size and shape of your pool, the desired level of illumination, and your personal preferences. A qualified electrician can help you to select the right lighting fixtures for your needs. Fourthly, how do I maintain my pool lighting system? Regular maintenance is essential to ensure the safety and longevity of your pool lighting system. This includes visually inspecting the fixtures, wiring, and connections for any signs of damage or corrosion. The ground fault circuit interrupter (GFCI) devices should be tested regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly. The lighting fixtures should be cleaned regularly to remove any dirt, debris, or algae that may have accumulated. Finally, what are some common pool lighting mistakes to avoid? Some common pool lighting mistakes to avoid include using non-waterproof fixtures, using undersized wiring, failing to ground the electrical system properly, and neglecting to test the ground fault circuit interrupter (GFCI) devices regularly. By avoiding these mistakes, you can help to ensure the safety and longevity of your pool lighting system. Pool and spa lighting is an important aspect of creating a safe and enjoyable outdoor space. By following the guidelines outlined in this discussion and consulting with qualified professionals, you can create a pool and spa environment that meets your specific needs and preferences. Remember to prioritize safety and code compliance throughout the entire process.